Back to another Access Center 2 video, and in today's video I'm back with another interview. I'm here with Ricardo Valencia. Ricardo, how are we doing, mate?
I'm doing great. How about yourself?
I'm doing very well, thank you. Thank you very much for coming on the channel, and am I right in saying you're a 22-year-old super featherweight who's 2-0?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Okay, brilliant. So I'm going to start off with the question which you always like to start off with, and that is, why did you start boxing?
I started boxing when I was 10 years old.
Mhm.
Yeah. Um, you know, mainly I was a troublemaker. Getting into fights. So, you know, it was a natural thing, I guess.
Yes, of course. And so, for yourself, do you remember what happened in your first amateur fight?
Yes, I do. My first amateur fight was actually a week after I started training.
Wow.
Uh, it didn't go as planned, uh, but I got beat up a bad. I got dropped in every round. Actually,
Wow.
I got up. I finished the fight, but you know, it
Mm.
was mostly experience, I guess.
Mm. Of course, yeah, that kind of shows the phrase of like you can't really cheat boxing, like whatever age you're fighting at, you can't really go in underprepared.
Yes, definitely.
Of course. And so throughout your whole kind of amateur experience, what would you say was your biggest achievement?
Well, if I'm being honest with you, I did do some amateurs, but I started when I was like back in Mexico.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, the thing about Mexico is the amateur fights are not recorded like they do here in the United States.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I did get, I did do a fair amount of fights in Mexico. I would say I did like somewhere around 25 fights.
Mm-hmm.
But here in the United States, I only did four,
Mm-hmm.
and those were recorded. So I want to say I don't have much amateur experience.
Mm-hmm.
Most of my experience is gym.
Mm-hmm.
From the gym, sparring people outside of the gym. But if we were to say something, that I've learned about the amateurs is, I guess, being able to go through it,
Mm-hmm.
because I feel like amateur fights are a little bit more harder than when it comes to the pro thing,
Mm-hmm.
because in the amateurs you gotta do weight on the same day and fight on the same day. You don't get the full day to recover, basically.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, there's a lot of kind of different things. People often call it a completely different sport, the amateurs to the professionals. And so, for yourself, I mean, you said you didn't really have too much of an amateur background, but why did you end up turning professional when you did?
I did. I don't want to say. I don't want to say I was being. You know. I was feeling like time was going by fast.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and my trainer kept telling me, my old trainer used. He kept telling me, "Oh, you should do like 10 amateur fights, then turn pro." But the COVID happened when I was about to do my amateur fights.
Mm-hmm.
So, we were out. We didn't have any fights for some, like, roughly like around a year and a half or two, maybe even more. I can't remember,
Mm-hmm.
because of COVID.
Mm-hmm.
So I got a little desperate, to be honest, at the fact that there was nothing happening, and people were expecting me to do amateur fights and then turn pro. And then me being a 19 at the moment, I think I was like 19 or 20.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I was like, time is going by. Like, I'm not getting any younger,
Mm-hmm.
so I gotta do this. Like, if I want to make if I want to make my dreams come true of being a world champion,
Mm-hmm.
I need to do it now.
Yeah.
and get the experience, get the experience from sparring, because that's the only thing I got right now.
Yeah, most definitely. And you kind of touched upon that point of maybe having a bit of time out of boxing when, of course, you didn't really want to. But what would you say was that kind of motivation and that drive to keep going to the gym even during COVID, or like to just kind of keep focused and not give up your dream of wanting to be that world champion?
You know, I've always thought about it like this, like, because I've got I have support from my friends,
Mm-hmm.
and they've gone to my fights and everything, and even my mates from the gym and some coaches have told me, like, you got you have good skills, and those good skills can take you to a world championship.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe you can make it if you put your mind to it. Just don't quit.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the trust of all of those people, you know, and the things they've told me made me believe that I can do it, you know? Like, if I put my mind to it, I will make it, you know? So they told me, regardless of the thing, regardless of what happened, like, even if it's a personal thing or something happening around you, don't stop doing what you're doing. Like, keep running, keep your body in shape, because you never know. You never know when a good opportunity presents.
Yeah, no, that's a great message. And so, of course, for yourself, you're now 2-0 in the professional rankings, and so you've just recently had your last fight. And so, which fight out of these two you've had so far would you say you've performed your best in?
I feel like this last fight, I performed my best. I don't want to say I did great, but it was definitely a big step, like skill based, mainly because when I did my first pro fight, I lacked a lot of the stuff that I can do now. I didn't move my head. I was stiff on my legs. I couldn't move as well as I do now. This last fight I had, I didn't do great either, but I definitely did way better than the first time. And I'm not trying to put excuses as to the reason why I couldn't perform the way I do. But it was a lot of pressure, mainly because it's the first time that I have, like, friends and family watching me, and then it's on the United States. A big promoter is watching me. A lot of pressure. I felt a lot of pressure. So it took a punt, because I got dropped on the first round, unfortunately. But that helped us. Wake up call for me to be like, you know what, you got to step it up, because there's people that trust you, people that know that you can make it, watching, and you're not supposed to let them down.
Yeah, no, totally. And so I suppose because you did kind of suffer that knockdown, you see a lot of fighters maybe get a first loss quite early on, or suffer their first knockdown quite early on, but then come back and then be even stronger from there on. And so I suppose, is it kind of like a little bit of a blessing in disguise that you did kind of have that early on in your career instead of maybe later on?
Yes, most definitely. I was actually glad. It is a little bit embarrassing, I want to say, because it's the first time I got dropped. But at the same time, I look at it as a good thing, because if that hadn't happened, maybe something worse could have happened later in the rounds.
Yeah, totally. And so for yourself, of course, you're now 2-0, and so you've had 2 fights now under professionals. And so would you say that you're kind of more settled in? You spoke about the nerves and stuff like that. Would you say that now, maybe going into your third fight, you'll be feeling that less kind of nerves and that less kind of pressure?
Yes. Yes, mainly because I already, because after my first professional fight, I was out well, I was still training, but I was not, I wasn't active, like fighting constantly and stuff like that. I was doing my trainings and sparrings, but I was out for almost 2 years. So it was good. It was good for me to experience all of that because I had basically my body experienced the same feelings that I had on my pro debut. So yes, I would definitely say that for the third fight, I would be more confident and more comfortable around the environment.
Amazing. And so just to kind of speak about this upcoming third fight, do you have a possible date yet? I know you're probably having a little bit of time off for the moment, but possible date yet?
Yes, I had a week off after the fight, and I immediately found out that they're planning on doing an event on September 2nd. Right now, we're just waiting on the details and the confirmation from the promoter. So hopefully, we get something for September 2nd because I'm really looking forward for the third fight.
Definitely. And so for yourself, I mean, you've had these kind of problems maybe outside the ring that have stopped you getting in the ring at times, but now that you're kind of like on a little bit of a roll, would you say that being active in the ring and making sure you get in lots of fights a year is the most important thing?
I would say it's good. It's good to get in the ring, and fight, but you gotta be prepared for it because it's a dangerous game.
Yeah.
Being in the ring and getting punched, there's a lot of risks, and lately a lot of boxers have died because of that. So I guess the most important thing about all of this is the preparation, making sure that you're on shape and that you're good mentally and physically for you to get in the ring before anything, because it is important to fight constantly, but it's more important for you to be ready before you do it.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. And so for yourself as a fighter, what would you say makes yourself interesting as a fighter?
My ability to adapt. Because I've had some challenging opponents throughout, my sparring sessions. People that are faster than me, people that are faster on leg movement, on head movement, anything, whatever you can whatever you can name. I cannot. I'm not gonna say I adapt at the moment, but I will come back stronger if I spar you for the second time, because I watch you, I pay attention to what you do, whatever you do, and I like it, and it's outmatching me, I'll copy it, and the next time you spar me, I'll do the same thing, even if it's not perfected, at least I'm gonna try it, I would say that it's my ability to adapt.
That's amazing. That's definitely something you need, especially early on in your career. And so would you, or is there any kind of fighters that are maybe fighting at the moment or in the past that you take much inspiration from stylistically or just in general when you got into the sport?
Yes, I actually have a couple. My style is based on Julio Cesar Chavez, Lomancheco, and also Ricardo Finito Lopez. Those were great fighters, and is still Lomancheco. Lomancheco, I like his footwork. He has great footwork. So I work on my footwork a lot. Julio Cesar Chavez and Finito. Finito, most definitely his head movement, because he had a great head movement. Julio Cesar Chavez as well, but Julio Cesar Chavez was great at punishing the body. And one thing I love is punishing the body, because as everyone says and knows, if you kill the body, the head comes down.
Yeah, yeah, totally. Yeah, you don't always see fighters maybe going to the body as much as they should, and so it's nice to see that you are kind of looking as that as, like you said, a key kind of aspect, especially of fighting in general.
Yes.
Yes, indeed. And so, for yourself and your kind of future ambitions, how far do you believe you can go in the sport?
I feel I feel like I can do, you know, the goal right now is to be ranked. I wanna be in the higher rankings, like once I get my seventh fight. I'm aiming to impress, because I want to get a world championship as soon as I can. Because I'm planning on staying on this sport for as long as I can, and make history. I wanna, I wanna. My goal is, my goal and my ambition is to one day, when I pass, and people that are barely getting into sport, they're like, oh, coaches are like, if you want to learn from the best, oh, look up Julio Cesar Chavez, Mike Tyson, Muhammad Ali, or Ricardo de la Torre, you know, like, I want to be mentioned as one of the best boxers that ever lived.
That's amazing. And so, I suppose, would you say that that means that you're wanting to create that kind of, like you said, everlasting legacy?
Exactly. That is exactly my goal.
Yeah, amazing. Okay, well, I'll leave with this final question, which I always like to ask. You've got a bit of a platform on this channel. Is there anything that you'd like to shout out?
Well, I would say little advice for whoever is doing this sport and feels like nothing's going on, or they feel down. If they really want this, if they really are looking forward to doing something in this sport, to push it, and to not to not give up, because if you give up, you're gonna stay wondering, oh, what if I had stayed? What if I had stayed? What could have done? I could have made something, good, or something like that. Because I've been in those moments, and now that I'm doing it, you know, if I can do it, you guys can do it.
Yeah, that's amazing. Yeah, great message. And so, thank you very much for doing this, Ricardo. And best of luck with your upcoming fight, whenever that may be, September time, like you mentioned, possibly. And so, maybe after that, or maybe a little bit further along down the line, we can come and have you back on the channel.
Of course, I'm really thankful that you called me for this interview. Really glad to be here. And again, thank you, man.
Lovely stuff. And so, if you're new around here and you haven't subscribed, please do so. Like the video if you need like the video, and thanks for watching.